Lots of criticism going out to the NBA, to the superstars, to LeBron James after a boring NBA All-Star weekend that we went through. A lot of the criticism is valid, and I have some suggestions on how we can fix it. I'm going to tell you right here about it right now on the DSN News Desk. What's good, Detroit Sports Nation? I am Eric Vincent, your host here at the DSN News Desk. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your time and support, especially when a lot of you gave a lot of that time to NBA All-Star Weekend. And what a joke of a weekend it was, man. As an NBA stan that I am, and as much as I used to grow up loving NBA All-Star Weekend, it is a shame to realize and see where this product has gone. I'm just disgusted at how bad it was this weekend, man. Again, if you were as brave as I was to get through it, shout out to you. So let's talk about a little bit of what we saw, because the NBA is really doing a disservice to its NBA fans, where a lot of fans and a lot of NBA purists love and enjoy All-Star Weekend for what it's supposed to represent. The best of the best competing. It's basically a glorified pickup game with the best all-stars and players in the league. And these guys are on the court giving lackluster effort, playing no defense whatsoever, not passing the ball, just doing all these ridiculously boring things that you can't keep up with for its entirety. It's not watchable. It's really not. They've tried changing the format to this new Kobe system of where they, count up all 4 quarters worth of points, and whoever gets to a certain number is the winner at the end. And that ain't cutting it. You change it from East versus West to do this new style, and it's absolutely terrible. And considering the product that the players are putting on the court, makes it even worse. You heard Mike Malone, who coached the All-Star game this weekend, talk about how it was one of the worst All-Star games he's ever seen and been a part of. We heard from Jaylen Brown from the Celtics say it was basically a glorified layup line. Well, if you guys know and understand the product is so bad, why don't you change it? Why don't you give the effort that the people want to see? Don't speak on behalf of the people and the fans like myself and say you want to give your best effort and then do absolutely nothing for it. The game itself is ridiculous. The skills competitions are just getting ridiculous. The three-point contest is still fun. And if they extend it to where they're taking advantage of the new developed skill set of players where they are shooting from 30 feet away, they're shooting from close to half court, shooting from the logo, that would suit for today's NBA, and I would be all for that. That would show that they're adjusting to the times. Now it just seems like they just throwing anything at the wall and hoping that it sticks, because this is not it. This is not it for what they've been trying to do. The dunk contest has become an absolute joke. It's become an absolute joke. And it was embarrassing seeing guys like Jericho Sims do the same dunk twice and thinking because you had a prop, it's going to all of a sudden make it better. Nah, pal, that's not how it goes. Sorry. That was terrible. Like, I couldn't even name the rest of the guys that were even in the contest. The winner, Matt McClung, was really getting the parts that he got is because he was different. He won and got so much execution, not just because he was different, for 2 reasons. He was different, and he was able to execute his dunks on the first try, which is all of a sudden something that doesn't matter in the NBA no more. They put him in a minute and 30 and say, oh, try to get your dunk done by then. Nope. If you don't get it done the first try, I'm tuning you out. Sorry. So Matt McClung being able to stand out as a white NBA player who could dunk, proving the theory wrong that white men can jump, he was the superstar and the headline of NBA All-Star Weekend. Not the superstars, not Jason Tatum, who won the NBA All-Star Game MVP, setting a new record of 55 points. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nobody cared about the skills competition. I didn't see a whole lot of buzz with that. And if it was only because of the young players that were a part of it. Guys like Jaden Ivey, who's getting a big boost and a lot of support from Pistons Twitter. And it's kind of the same thing through the rest of it. Even with the rising skills competition, rising stars, the rising stars really became more exciting and watchable than the game itself between the All-Stars and the Superstars. It was not watchable basketball, man. They were giving more effort in the Rising Stars contest than the main event itself. And a lot of the criticism has been heard. A lot of criticism has been talked about. We heard Stephen A. Smith blame LeBron James for the decline of the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. Now, on its face, it sounded crazy. I thought it was a little wild. I thought it was a bit unfair, and it took me back to the quote of LeBron saying, "Oh, blame everything on me. It's always LeBron's fault. Blame LeBron." But to an extent, I really do agree with Stephen A. LeBron does deserve some blame for the decline of this contest. LeBron, year after year, at least two that I can think of off top, where he publicly stated he wanted to do the dunk contest, whether he tweeted it or talked about it on the sideline during the All-Star Game festivities, where he said, "I'm submitting my name. Next year I'm in it. I'm going to try it." He said that during the year that Dwight Howard won, and the year after that he wanted to be a part of it. I believe it was 2010 when he went to Miami, and he never showed up. He never showed up. And even at that time, we were still getting stars that were competing. Dwight Howard was a star at that point. Guys like Vince Carter were carrying the dunk contest and putting on a show for the people that the people wanted to see. And now all of a sudden, it's become nothing but a charade where the stars all sit in the front row, stand there with their video cameras, and watch G League players and role players entertain them. Now all of a sudden the superstars want to become the fans. No, the fans paid to see you. They paid to see you on the court doing this. They paid to see John Morant. They paid to see Zion Williamson. They'll even take a Zach LaVine, who's like a quasi-star. Like, they'll take that at this point. Not Matt McClung. Like, he was only interesting because he was different. If he was like every other player in the NBA, nobody would care about Matt McClung. He was a good player. He did some cool stuff in the contest, but it was only exciting because he was different from everybody else, which isn't a bad thing. I'm giving him his credit. Shout out to Matt McClung. I really hope this helps project him into a new light and some new stardom in the NBA. But outside of that, the product itself in the contest was garbage. It was absolute garbage. To me, I believe there's ways that they can fix it. There are ways that they can fix this. For one, go back to East versus West. Stop this drafting thing. Stop this, we don't want to set this new system where we don't want to draft the guy last and embarrass him, da-da-da. Do East versus West like you used to. Go back to that format. Two, let the players wear their normal jerseys. We understand why they don't. The NBA wants to capitalize on these cheap, terrible-looking new NBA All-Star jerseys that haven't looked good the past 10 years, if I'm being honest. They really haven't. Three, you have to put something on the line in the contest and in the game itself. I love how the MLB used to do it, where they would give home court advantage to the winning conference in the World Series based on what they did in the All-Star game. Now, granted, I understand the All-Star game is supposed to be fun, but if you have something on the line, it makes the players want to play harder. You can do the same thing in the dunk contest. You could bring guys off the street. You could bring viral dunkers to go against young rising stars. Flyers like a Jalen Green, brought up Jaden Ivey before. Bring those kind of guys against NBA fans that are viral dunkers that we see online all the time. Bring them in. Winner first place gets $1 million. Second place gets $500,000. Whatever. Give them something to give the interest back to the fans, because right now it's not there. And a big reason, the final point I want to make is the media deserves a lot of blame for this too. I don't want to put this all on the fans. Part of this has to go to the media as well, because the way that media has progressed and developed is basically nothing else matters except the playoffs, the postseason, and the fourth quarter. Because all you hear now when you talk about how LeBron isn't better than Jordan, or even in football, whether it's Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, the number one arguments that they go to is the rings, is the postseason success, as if the regular season doesn't matter, as if getting to the All-Star game is not important anymore. They've diminished everything that leads up to the championship now. where now all of a sudden it's championship or bust. And if you don't get there, we ain't worried about you. And that's a ridiculous way to think about it. Because breaking news, guys, you have to be good in the regular season to get to the postseason. So it can't be irrelevant what you do in the regular season. It's just been diminished so much. So now at this point, all-star accomplishments and accolades don't matter. Regular season accolades don't mean as much anymore. I've even seen media talking heads diminish the first few rounds of the postseason in order to favor the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals for their argument. And it's absolutely stupid. It's ridiculously stupid, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. I really think that has done a disservice and has led up to the lack of interest in these kind of moments. I absolutely think that matters. And I think if those things are created and corrected, then maybe we get a better product, hopefully sooner than later, with NBA All-Star Weekend. Talk to me in the comment section, though. I would love to hear your feedback. Did you even watch the All-Star game? And if you did, what were your thoughts on all the festivities from the weekend? Talk to me if you think it's still a cooked product, if you think it's good, if you still think there could be some hope with this. I would love to hear from you. Talk to me in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. We just passed over 6,000 subscribers, so we're now on our road to 7,000. With your help and support, we would love to make that happen. Tap that subscribe button. We would love to get up to that milestone. Make sure you tapping in on our social media as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above. Search and follow Detroit Sports Nation. And lock in with me as well at I am Eric Vincent. Thank you so much for your time and support. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll be right back again soon with another update right here from the DSN News Desk. Peace.